Hello, mortals. I'm the BookTube Goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. And I am going to be doing another episode of What's in My Box, where I look at boxes that I've had for ages and find out what's inside of them because no one has opened up my box in a long time. So let's get started with the next box of books. And voila, I have another box of books. So let's open it up and see what's inside. Okay, now this box, some of these books may be from my bookshelf. If you've seen my chaotic bookshelf tour, I'm not sure, but they look like mostly paperbacks. So let's get started. First off, we have a Diana Wynne Jones book, The Chronicles of Christomanty. Now, this book is one of my favorite. This is volume 3. This is one of my favorite middle grade books that Diana Wynne Jones does. You may know her from Howl's Moving Castle. I think this is a better series about a young boy who is heir to the Christomancy magic. Yeah, and there is a cat involved, and you know I love books with cats in it. Highly recommend it if you like middle grade novels. Next we have a Witch War book by James Clemens. James Clemens is actually a thriller writer under a different name, James Rollins, I believe. And this is one of my favorite series, the Witchfire, or it's called Banned and the Banished. And it's about a young woman in a fantasy land. This is epic fantasy that discovers her power. Here we have a old Robert Heinlein, Between Planets. This is a very thin book. This is one of his earlier books. I'm not sure if it's a juvenile or not, but it does have the creature that looks like the Star Beast, if you know the Star Beast from Heinlein. Next we have a Tad Williams book, Shadow March. I think I looked at the first book of the series. Yeah, this one is volume 1. Highly recommend him for epic fantasy, especially if you like the thick ones. Next we have College of Magics by Carolyn Stevermer. Now, you're going to be hearing this a lot. I don't actually remember reading this book, but college magic sounds good to me. Let's look at the blurb. Ferris Nelanine is the heir to the small northern dukedom of Galazon, but until she reaches her majority, her despotic uncle rules with an iron hand. He has banished her to college to keep her out of the country and out of his way. But little does he reckon that the specialty that is taught at the College of Greenlaw, that specialty is magic. And Ferris shall prove to be an apt student indeed. Next we have a Jacqueline Carey book. I absolutely love the Kushiel series. This is a erotic epic fantasy set in a inspired version of France. There's lots of angels, lots of religion, and lots of kinky sex. And what do you know, I have a Stacy's book card from where I bought it. And I have some tickets to Anger Management. I don't even remember seeing that at the theater. Anyway, check out Kushiel. Next we have Winds of Fury by Mercedes Lackey. I love the Valdemar books. I know they're not for everyone. This one has illustrations in it. And the land of Valdemar is about a land where people are chosen and who have magic and are worthy enough, and they are associated with these companions. and the companions come in the form of a white horse. Now, you've heard me talk about her an awful lot. That is Robin Hobb, and here is Madship. I absolutely love the Elderling series. You start with the Assassin's trilogy, Assassin's Apprentice, etc., and go on. Highly recommend this series. Don't start with this one, start with Assassin's Apprentice. Next we have Charlene Harris, Dead Until Dark. Now, I got this because I was really into True Blood, the HBO series. It is a Sookie Stackhouse novel. And I remember not being very impressed with it, so I never went on further with this series. But we have another Stacy's bookmark. And next we have another Chronicles of Crestomanti. This is volume 2. And we have another James Clemens Witch Storm. This is part of the series I highly recommend. This is really a fantastic series. Next we have Golden Trillium by Andre Norton. Now, I remember this Trillium series because there is a trilogy of authors who did this project where each of them took one princess. There's like a warrior princess, a scholar princess, and sort of a princess, something like that. And they each go on their separate adventures. The first one is Black Trillium, where all three of them collaborated. And who is it? It's Andre Norton, Julian May, and who was the third one? Marion Zimmer Bradley. Marion Zimmer Bradley, I can't read anymore because of her history. And if you want to Google that, you're welcome to. I'm not going to repeat it here, but she has passed away, and I do consider The Mists of Avalon one of the best Arthurian retellings, even though I can't read the author anymore. Here we have a Dawn Calendar Pyromancer. I don't remember anything about this book except that I really loved this series because I remember getting the entire series. It has a fun cover. Let's read the blurb. Apprentice wanted to learn the mysteries and secrets of wizardry and the discipline of fire from a master magician, supreme spellcaster, wonderful wizard, and prestigious pyromancer. I require a bright, obedient, well-written lad of at least 10 summers and at most 16 winters to assist me and learn the art and science of pyromancy. Must be neat, prompt, well-spoken, and have a large bump of curiosity. Also must be able to read, to write a fair manuscript, and not snore except when asleep on his back. Signed, the wizard Flarman Flowerstock. So, it's just a fun little fantasy. Next we have 2150 by Thea Alexander. This is I believe it's a dystopian, and this was written a while ago. 1971, and I don't remember the details, but I remember it is a good book. Next we have Innocent Mage by Karen Miller, and I talk a lot about her from her series, which begins with The Empress, which is an anti-hero. And I do remember enjoying the Innocent Mage series. Next we have Grunts by Mary Gentle. And this is a novel about orcs, and it's a humorous novel. It is a bit too big for the story it tells, but the grunts, the orcs, serve an evil overlord, and they discover a cache of weapons, I guess, transported by magic from another dimension, which happens to be a bunch of United States Marines weapons, and the more they use it, the more they turn into Marines. Very humorous novel. Next we have Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobbs. This is another Mad Ship book in that series, in the world of the Elderlings, and I have a bookmark. It's a Borders bookmark. And we have another Crucial novel. Oh, I think this is the first one, Crucial Dart. Next we have Guy Gavriel Kay, A Song for Arbonne. I really do like Guy Gavriel Kay. I think he is a literary fantasy writer. I've heard that there is some controversy or some something problematic about his writing. I haven't really looked into it, but if you can look past that, he is an excellent writer. Oh, and we have Julian May's Blood Trillium. And again, this is from the viewpoint of one of the three princesses, where each author took one point of view. Then we have Wellspring of Chaos by L.E. Modesitt. Junior. And this is a Recluse novel. And if you haven't read the Recluse novels, they are well worth it. They are not about good and evil. They are about chaos and law. Usually law being, or order being the good guys, and chaos being the the villains. Next we have Warrior by Donald E. McQuinn. Oh, it's falling apart. Bad sign when your book falls apart. Anyway, I remember not liking this book, so take that for what you will. Next we have Courage of Falcons by Holly Lyle. Now, Holly Lyle is a traditionally published author who has a website where she gives a lot of advice to writers, and I believe she's doing independent publishing now. But I do like her books. This is The Secret Text. This is book 3, so don't start with this book. The first book in this series is Diplomacy of Wolves. And we have 2 novels by Dawn Cook. Again, I think I've mentioned her before, and I do really like these books. These are, maybe they're romances. They're fantasy romances. I don't think that's the main plot arc of it, is a romance, but I did enjoy these very much, and it's about a girl who's kind of isolated and finds out she has magic, and there is a abandoned city or fortress or something that is important to people with magic, and she finds out what that is. I really love these books. Next we have The Commodore at Sea by Bertram Chandler, and honestly I don't remember this book at all. I probably got this at a used bookstore, and I probably got it because the cover looked very retro and interesting. Next we have another of the Witch War novels, Witch Gate, and a bookmark, Silver Plains. Don't know, never got it. I have a fancy bookmark. Gorgeous cover. Again, this is from the series that I highly recommend. Next we have Hugo, a Winner, James Blish, Earthmen Come Homes. I'm very certain that I got this from a used bookstore, and I don't remember how this book was, but James Blish is a very well-known writer, and you probably know him from Cities in Flight. I believe he did. And did he write Star Trek? I can't remember, but Cities in Flight, I think it's his most well-known novels. Next up, we have a Margaret Weiss book, Amber and Ashes. She's mostly known for the Dragonlance books with co-author Tracy Hickman. I don't remember this one. I probably got it just because I was curious how she was as a single author, because usually she does collaborations. Next up, we have Shadowfall by James Clemens. He did The Witch, The Band and the Banished, and this is a book that made me stop reading him because he stopped writing fantasy in the middle of a series. And I did enjoy the series, but he stopped writing the series. We'll never, ever know how it ends, which is kind of a shame. C'est la vie. Next, we have a nonfiction, Concentration and Meditation by Christmas Humphreys. I believe this was recommended to me by a friend of mine for getting into meditation. We have another Karen Miller. This is a sequel or a prequel to the Innocent Mage series. This is a sequel. I don't know why I said prequel, but there you have it. Next, we have Kurt Benjamin's The Prince of Shadow, another book that I don't have any memory of what it's about, but I'm sure I read it. It is volume 1 of 7 Brothers. I don't think I picked up any of the sequels, so that probably means I didn't enjoy it that much. And we have Whitley Strieber's Cat Magic. Whitley Strieber's a horror writer, and I probably got this because of the cat, in that I was in the mood to read some horror. And sadly, I don't remember anything about this book. If you have read it and remember, let me know down below. And finally, the last book in this box is The Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. Now, I've read John Connolly before, and I liked his writing, which is probably why I got this book. But again, I don't remember what this was about. Let's read the blurb on the back. High in his attic room, 12-year-old David mourns the death of his mother, with only the books on his shelf for company. But those books have begun to whisper to him in the darkness. Angry and alone, he takes refuge in his imagination, and soon finds that reality and fantasy have begun to meld. While the family falls apart around him, David is violently propelled into a world that is a strange reflection of his own, populated by heroes and monsters and ruled by a fated king who keeps his secrets in a mysterious book, the Book of Lost Things. So this is a portal fantasy. It sounds kind of like a horror novel, and there is no wonder why I picked this one up, because this is definitely the type of book I like. Unfortunately, I don't actually remember reading it. Maybe I'll give it a reread. And there's one other thing in this box. It is a birthday card to me from some friends of mine. Birthdays make me cranky, bitch. Happy birthday from one bitch to another. Thank you, Sean and Gary. Okay, that's all I have in my box today. If you want to see more of what's in my boxes, I have a lot more boxes in my garage. Let me know in the comments which of these books you are interested in reading, or that have intrigued you, and which have not. And if you want me to continue, let me know in the comments as well. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And until we meet again, may all the books you read be blessed.